Welcome with a new story titled Someone's Outside, a shadow in the window. We hope you enjoy it. Let's begin. Sarah sat on the edge of her bed, staring at the computer screen, her eyes red from lack of sleep. The clock read 3 in the morning, and she was still working on her final project. Sarah's apartment was small, with her only window overlooking a narrow, dark alley. Every now and then, she would lift her eyes from the screen to take a quick glance at the outside darkness, as if she were expecting something. A strange feeling of loneliness overwhelmed her, as if she were the only living being in this sleeping city. Sarah sighed and reached for her cold cup of coffee. "I need to finish this soon," she whispered to herself. Suddenly, she heard a faint sound coming from outside. It was like a light tapping on the window. Sarah jumped, her heart stopping for a moment. "What is that?" she wondered quietly. She looked towards the window, but saw nothing. The alley was completely dark, with no light except for the faint streetlight barely reaching the ground. It could just be a cat or the wind moving something. Sarah returned to her work, but her focus had been shattered. Her eyes kept sliding towards the window every now and then. After a few minutes, she heard the sound again. This time it was clearer and more persistent. It sounded like long nails scratching the glass slowly. Sarah felt a strange chill running down her spine. This time, the sound was coming from a higher place, closer to the middle of the window. "It can't be a cat," she thought. Slowly, Sarah got up from her spot and headed towards the window. Her heart was pounding violently in her chest. Each step felt heavy, as if she were walking in a dream. She reached the window and extended her hand to grasp the heavy curtains. She hesitated for a moment, then quickly pulled the curtain aside. She saw nothing. The alley was empty, and darkness still enveloped the place. Sarah felt relieved, then foolish. "I'm so tired," she whispered to herself. "This is just a figment of my imagination." As Sarah turned to go back to her office, she noticed something. In the far corner of the window, a faint reflection of something. It looked like a black shadow moving very slowly. It had no defined shape, just a dark mass clinging to the glass. Sarah felt the air leave her lungs. She froze in place, her eyes fixed on that shadow. The shadow was slowly moving toward the center of the window, as if it were crawling. There was no obvious movement, just that slow and terrifying slide. Suddenly, the shadow stopped. Then the upper edge began to take shape. It resembled a human head, but it was distorted, elongated, and unnatural. Sarah felt a severe headache, as if her head were about to explode. She couldn't scream or move. That terrifying shadow continued to stare at her from outside, not moving, making no sound, just that frightening silence. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the parts of the shadow slowly began to fade, as if melting into the darkness. Sarah wasn't sure if what she had seen was real or just a nightmare. But she couldn't go back to sleep that night. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw that terrifying shadow staring at her from her window. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to receive all the new updates.